Hello everyone, and welcome back. We are back with more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we ran into our old friend, Gina Lestrade, who came in to pawn something off, and also to pick up something else that she had pawned previously, only for a strange man to come in, claiming that the item she was picking up actually belonged to him. But Herlock and Renosuke managed to prove that the item did actually belong to Gina, only for it to be revealed that it actually had ties to dang it, I had his name. To the guy that died after the trial concerning the murder in the carriage. Like I said, his name is escaping me. I had his name until just now. Anyway, so apparently there's still more going on surrounding him even after his death, so maybe we'll find out more about that today. So let's continue. April 15th, Baker Street. Now let me see if I can hit that guy's name on the... Okay, no I can't. Let me... so yeah. See, that's how it gone up. Just a sec. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and tell stuff, and take stuff away from you. Oh really? Oh really, Mr. Stodd? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my! Surely you were given that? Yeah, the day let me keep it. After I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, "Go on then, have it," before telling me to scupper. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc mind. The music box disc? But Mr. Windybank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Mrs. Stodd. We shan't enter Windybank's again today. Why not? That's not fair! It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank. But that is mine! I had the ticket for this coat and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else at all. That's what that rotten Cole said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Mr. Stodd, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Your fault, Sholmes. So, what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. Iris would Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Nata. Oh. Why would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone. Haven't reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? It's a surprise. You shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Otto. Until later, then. Well, I guess I could go ahead and examine some stuff, but I think we're pretty much done here, aren't we? What's this? It's already been 2 months since I started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholm's office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. April 15th, 3:46 p.m. Sholm Suite. Ah, Susie and Runo. Come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess.
Look at those little eyes of hers shining.
Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Jenny! Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news!
Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional.
Oh, yes, that does sound like fun.
I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo?
By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to?
Howdy. Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes? I beg that you won't speak to me again? Now what? Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take... I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that.
I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really? He behaves just like a child sometimes, really does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they?
Question is which? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are.
What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right?
How did you...
Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book.
This girl is dangerous.
Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
So, by Ginny, you mean Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case? Yeah, McGilded, that was his name. From the McGilded case 2 months ago, right?
Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher? Although after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can.
Old McDuck is dead.
Yep. Welcome to stream, Soup. How you doing tonight? Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Hey Dragoon, welcome to stream. How are you doing? Oh. And I chased after her down the back alleys.
Interesting idea of friendship.
And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed.
Oh.
There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Jenny wants me to make a whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
I'm doing good, thanks, Soup.
Note to self, don't eat gum from 1990. Ugh, what happened?
What happened, Dragoon? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley.
Oh, I can't wait for Jenny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited.
I just hope she does actually come.
I'm sure you were wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore.
I bought some hockey card packs from 1990 and I figured I'd try the gum. Uh-huh. It's nasty. Yeah, I imagine it is.
Mummy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes! Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there.
Really? You recorded them all?
So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases?
Oh no. What a sup, Soup? Oh yes, I mean it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So, Mr. Shoma's partner was your father? If you're talking about what Iris just revealed, yeah, I think get what you're talking about. I'm tempted because I'm at the last boss of Man-Eater to eat a piece of the gum for each time the boss kills me. Ew. I'm not sure I should condone that. Exactly. Hurley told me I was still allowed to look in the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. Well, I haven't played this case, but yes, I am referring to what you think I am. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you don't want anything to be spoiled, from this point on, I'll understand, Soup. And found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley. Who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Shoma's partner. I don't condone morons eating 32-year-old gum either. Yeah, that's good. And Soup says, nah, it's cool. Okay, if you're sure. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean... Oh. That's not where I was expecting this to go. It must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. At some point in the future, there will be many tombstones that read, I did it for content! Yep. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solves a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. Okay. So no, try not to eat fossil sugar. Yeah. It's quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. Called it. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study, so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear the trial of Runosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato.
Yes.
Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Ah, my dear fellows. How good to see you.
Hey! Mr. Sholmes!
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Ugh. Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Mr. Zato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilden's disc.
Oh my!
Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may be even more adept at larceny.
Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Runo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Right.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all our minutes and crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. The music box disc. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this.
That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes.
Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows. Cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be checking out whatever it is of McGilden's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demands some of this evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. That's amazing! The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image of in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution.
How extraordinary!
Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess, I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Okay. Guess we'll find out.
Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes, what music does the disc play?
Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not.
Goodness, you don't know, Bruno. Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it.
But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe.
Why exactly?
Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present.
But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But, as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe.
Every single one? That's hardly for you. Always taking things too far.
But, my dear girl, an unresolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Okay. Magnus Begilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since the Grizzly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Just want to check something real quick. Oh, never mind. Pokemon news tomorrow. Yeah, I heard about that. Do you know what time it's going to be? The truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial.
The newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case.
The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. "6 a.m., but the hour may vary depending on where you are." Right. And I'm not quite sure when I'll be watching the State of Play, because it starts at 5 p.m. my time. Which, you know, normally I start streaming at 4 p.m. Also, regarding the State of Play, I have heard that there were leaks got out about it, so this probably goes without saying, but try not to talk about any of them. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed.
Well, it's time I start getting things ready for dinner, I think. Jenny will be here before long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windybank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he?
Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windybank's storeroom, gathering dust.
My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than the bank's vault. If I read it correctly, it should be 8 a.m. for you. Oh, okay. May have to watch it after I get back from the store then.
And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure?
Well, maybe the occasional mix-up. Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskervilles! I should love to read it!
What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room?
Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's
because Mrs. Otto is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course.
But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles has never been published.
What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand.
That's why he said he'd keep it safe until it was the right time for the story to be public, you see.
So that's why the manuscript is at Windybanks?
And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on?
What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Oh, sure, way to dodge the subject. Dodge the question. Miss Lestrade!
This is a bad idea. I knew I wasn't welcome. I'm going.
No, wait! Miss Lestrade! We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Well, this just got awkward.
Oh yes, just like that, Jenny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home.
Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. Let's say it's some Mendelssohn. Whatever that is. Mendelssohn. I would take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Aw, there's a kitty. At least that's one person's dialogue I don't have to read. One character's, rather. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. April 15th, 9:34 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it?
Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine.
And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now.
Best of all, I bet I can steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder?
What's the matter, Suzato-san?
It's about the telegram I received.
Ah. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose.
I've been summoned.
What? Summoned? What do you mean?
The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me.
The Lord Chief Justice? When?
Tomorrow morning.
What? Then we have to start preparing at once.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone.
Alone? What on earth for?
I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow.
What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Oh, who could that be, I wonder?
Good evening, friends!
Iris, hello again.
And Gina, too! Yes, Jenny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Jenny?
Well, yeah.
How lovely! Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Jenny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful?
You mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we?
I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it.
You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour?
Well, you see, I came to return this.
Oh my gosh! Wait, what? That's mine!
Oh my! However did you? I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius.
So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though.
Thank you.
Alright then, good night.
Yes, good night.
So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Jenny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too.
It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about.
I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript.
Yes, I suppose she probably does.
Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time. Please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is really about, really, but... Oh, it's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This manuscript or whatever you call it. It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I mentioned it to you before, Jenny, but... My daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister?
Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though.
And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now then? He had to go away on urgent business to faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So, I've never really met him.
Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Iris, this Hound of the Baskerville story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts. How long is forever? Yup. The question is, how come she doesn't know? Is it because of Herlock's bad memory, or is there another reason?
That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean.
Oh, how?
I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it, I showed them the manuscript to Hurley. He turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that.
It pains me to have to say this after you toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances.
But why not? It's one of my best works.
I'm not at liberty to say, not now. So please, do not ask me.
Alright then, I won't.
But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it?
Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe.
That really gets what God that does. He's treating you like a child.
It's mean, that's what it is. Keeping secrets like that.
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean.
Eh?
If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason.
I think so too. Just you lot are too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris, I bet my life on it.
What?
Hurley's lying to me?
I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina.
I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. From the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, diamond's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. Y'all for to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have I always thought it'd make everything right. But haven't listened to what Iris just said. It sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh! I mean, if you know you never had him, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet him. It's true. Oh. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris.
Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris?
And he reckons he popped that Manta script or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my! Why would you think that, Gina? It's simple, but that story was really in old Windybank's storeroom. There's no way someone from off around the world, in other words you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Harry would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling ya, that manuscript ain't at Windybanks. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it.
The real crime here is those sleeves, Gina. Yep.
I mean, but I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong in me to doubt him.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris.
Oh my goodness, look at the time! Come along, Jenny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you?
No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina.
You must let me bake breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Good night, then.
I keep getting Iris and Gina's voice mixed together sometimes. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a child.
Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san.
Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at UMA University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Okay.
Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo!
That voice. That's... Oh! I'm sorry, I thought it was Susano. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. I'm speaking to her before she retired. I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Mrs. Otto. No, I don't believe the girl's gone home, but I've been waiting for it over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Oh, darn it. Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windybank's... Oh no!
It's simple. If that story was really in old Windybank's storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you.
Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once! Mr. Otto! April 16th, 1:14 a.m. Baker Street. The door to Windybank's, it's open.
And the lamp is burning.
It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh, yes. There's... Oh, what the?
Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. But... After them! Go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Oh, okay. The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you happen to know something about that? Officer, come with me! It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot! Shot?! With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windybank's. Oh.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Narado!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
It's locked. Oh.
It's Gina!
Oh man, that was too short. I guess I'm gonna have to do another one tonight. So... Okay. Anyway. Yeah, like I said, that was too short to be one stream. Dang, what a stinger, I know, right? And we don't even know... Do we even know who the other person was? That was in the room with Gina? At least it wasn't anyone I recognized. Yeah, like I said, this was maybe. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this was too short to for me to end the stream just now, so I guess I'll have to go ahead and do another one. Another chapter. Anyway, let's go ahead and save here at least. Drink some water. Alright, we'll do. I'll do that real quick. Behind that door in the storeroom. Oh, that was Sholmes. I won't bother reading all this because it was just said in that cutscene. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's the... Oh, okay. Now I recognize who it was. It was hard to tell. He just looked different in the cutscene. It's the owner of the pawnbrokery. Yeah, this already is clearly a setup. I haven't said anything yet, but I love the art style of this game. I mean, yeah, in some ways it's similar to Phoenix Wright, but I don't know. It's anyway. From that moment, Windy Bank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Excuse me. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. Which means you hardly got any sleep. And this also means so much for breakfast, I guess. April 16th, 6:21 a.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. The character designer is great for the series, and the era this one is in gives them room to be more colorful and elaborate. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Iris.
Telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home.
Oh, yes. We asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back.
When I woke up, I was all alone. Holly and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone.
I'm about to turn all notifications off my phone for now. It's getting annoying. Although it's the same as every other day, I guess I'm just a little spoiled because I barely got any yesterday being Memorial Day.
What happened, Reno?
Poor Iris, she's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know.
Something awful has happened, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windybank is dead. Oh, man. I guess I was kind of hoping he was just injured, but that's what we got in the last case, so probably shouldn't have gotten my hopes up on that. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, yes. Yes, I had a feeling.
You did?
Well, I saw those police carriages pulling up outside his shop. So I knew something must have happened there.
When we entered Windybanks in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street, and I chased after them, but they got away.
So it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windybank, I suppose?
I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment.
Oh, why not?
They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina.
Jenny! But why?
Well, the thing is...
No, Jenny wouldn't do something like that.
I know. None of us think she did it.
Then why have they arrested her?
I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Well, we'll go in order still.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windybanks, a gun was fired, and he took a bullet.
Hurley was shot? No! No!
It's alright. His life isn't in danger.
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
He's at St. Sinners. They're attending to him there.
I must see him at once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see.
To operate? Oh, poor Hurley.
It was the 2 thugs who were in Mr. Windybank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when he disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! After them! Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but... well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away.
I think that's a very good thing.
Sorry?
Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh, Iris. I mean, I already liked Iris from the first moment I saw her, but now, yeah, I kind of like seeing more of her more vulnerable side. It's like Renosuke said, you forget she really is still just a child. Anyway, Susato's situation. What now?
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there, then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss Susato stayed behind at the scene to attend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later.
I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early.
You should have let me know and I would have come to the station. I don't understand why they arrested Jenny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
He's not dead. Never mind. No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris.
This is all so horrible.
The thing is, Mr. Windybank was found on the floor in the storeroom, where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside.
I see.
But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well.
Oh no!
And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards...
Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room?
Yes, exactly. How did you know?
It's the only explanation.
Yes, the only explanation indeed.
What do you mean by that, Reno? Well?
Ugh, what can I say? Damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on.
I want to go too. Take me with you, Reno.
Ugh.
I can't stand just sitting around here waiting.
I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. But I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed.
And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation.
I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Alright, let's head out then. New location has been added. More than one, I would think. Okay, let's do like Renosuke said and go to the hospital first. April 16th, St. Sinners Hospital. What the hell kind of name is that for a hospital? Ward 3.
Hurley! Oh!
He's
not here!
No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she?
Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not sure about that, baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered.
Oh.
Hello, hello! What have we here? This ward is off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh?
Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin.
Eh? Oh! Well, beg your pardon then, ma'am. Sir. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. The great Mr. Salva has a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure.
Well,
wait a minute. What do you say about the girl again? A little lady, okay. And a curious Eastern gentleman, oh, okay.
Where's he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
I believe he is currently in the operating theater, ma'am. Undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It has been several hours since he went in.
Oh dear. Is Is he going to be alright?
Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. Are we talking about the wrong patient? Ugh! The anesthetic, that is. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh!
I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much drink last night. Coffee, that is. Great. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. Can drinking a lot of coffee really keep an anesthetic from working? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense if you have that much caffeine in you, but I don't know. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later.
Oh, poor Holly.
I want to look around here a bit first. If I can. There's a notice board on the wall here. Look. Let's see. What does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron. Joy.
Oh yes, they have rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine.
You'd think that would kill them, but okay.
If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients.
Rats and mice? Oh, I see. This is a rather old building, I suppose.
But the doctors and nurses are all very good, I hear.
I certainly hope so, for Mr. Sholm's sake. I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris?
Oh, haven't you ever seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries, to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see?
Oh, right. Yeah, I sprained my ankle once when I was in grade school and I had to be on crutches. So yeah, they're not fun. Oh, right. I thought they were weapons of some sort. I guess they could possibly be used, at least for self-defense. I don't know. Anyway.
Why would there be weapons in a hospital?
I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in a battle contest and brought here along with his weapons.
That's surprisingly plausible.
I guess that's it for... I guess that's all we can look at here. So, let's just get out of here. So, yeah, let's get out of here. Alright, let's head off to the prison. The prison cell where Miss Gina Lestrade is being held pending trial. We need to do all we can to help her as quickly as possible. Wanted to get another drink real quick. Sorry. April 16th, local prison, cell 13. Hello, Gina. Okay, can I start... yeah, can I start by asking how they even allowed her to have that bag with her still? Never mind the grenade launcher?
Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Harley and I made.
I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though.
What are you here for? Jenny.
I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you.
Well, you can't.
Sorry?
You had. Get lost. Don't be like that, Jenny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw my chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I can lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, nowhere in there did you say anything about possibly killing somebody.
But, Jenny... I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove come by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one.
She couldn't be staring at me anymore, obviously, if she tried.
Why are you being like this, Jenny?
I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away?
He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me, growing up in the back slums me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers, or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all, being sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. Can't trust no one, that's the point. As soon as you do, you're gone to grass, dead.
Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could—
Forget it! Jenny! Don't you trust Runo? No, I don't. Look, I ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night, at the pawnbroker's.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going to the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and... you know the rest. But why, Jenny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I can sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing.
Is that really why you broke into the place?
What?
Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Oh, give it a rest! What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Jenny. I believe you, whatever it is. Believe me, don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. Well, what do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help.
Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Jenny, please. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by.
A photo of a kitten? A photographic print of a really adorable cat.
I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. It's no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in the pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Jenny.
The white cat photograph has been entered into the court record. A photograph depicting a sweet little white cat obtained from Gina while interviewing her in her prison cell. Well, anything else? Guess I might as well take a look at it. This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like Wagahai. I always thought that cats like to curl up inside under the heated kotatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Well, probably, since that wouldn't even exist. Now what's on the back? Uh-huh. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
February 13th, 9 o'clock p.m. Article deposited, 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, April 13th, 9 o'clock p.m.
So this photographic print is a redemption ticket?
February 13th. That could be significant. It was just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it?
A small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Bruno, if Mr. McGillicuddy still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article.
So do you think
the box might still be present somewhere in the shop?
Yes! If it's something Mr. McGillicuddy deposited, we need to investigate. The white cat photographs information has been updated in the court record. Pawnbroker's ticket box. A redemption ticket issued from the pawnbrokery owned by the victim, Mr. Windybank, in the form of some handwritten notes on the back of a photograph. Is that all we can say to her now? And I guess all we can do also? Let's see what presenting this to her does. Here, Gina, look at this.
Nota.
I wasn't saying you could have it.
Oh, weren't ya? Well, when someone says I can't have stuff, it makes me want it, see? So you better hand it over now.
No, I'm not giving it to you. Okay, so that went nowhere. I guess we just need to move on then. Yeah, we can't examine anything. Okay, now to the pawnbrokery. I guess we can't. I guess they wouldn't be done with Herlock yet. April 16th, Windybank's Pawnbrokery.
This is where it happened then. Last night.
That's right. The 2 thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables.
But apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that, actually.
In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the one doing the ransacking.
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi! I heard that! Oh, Inspector. Good morning. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. You got unseen before it was disturbing, at least. Shame you let two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that.
I thought you'd assigned extra men to the beat around here, Grexy. Now look what happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty.
Oh! Looks like she got you there. Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming! Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care.
Gosh dang it, are they trying to catch up for missing some quota yesterday or something? Ugh! Sorry. It's just getting annoying at this point. Of course, your ladyship! The very best doctors in the capital are attending to him as we speak.
And I don't think it's Reno's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say. The jet in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are my manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you... What the f... Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice? What is this guy's deal?
Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Grexy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me, if you'd like some.
Oh, lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple cases. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina? You're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid...
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you? How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Senna's. At St. Senna's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visitor at all.
Oh!
The bullet was to hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no!
He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, let's have an emergency surgery right now. They gotta stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better.
Oh, of course, your ladyship. It'll be as right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Well, because, of course. Oh yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear is at an operating theatre. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine! Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch the sauce, Sonny! I'm a copper and we didn't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's because of those adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories, that's why. Oh. I crop up in them, don't I, Inspector Tobias Gregson?
Oh, well yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the Inspector, Iris? Does he have some dirt on him?
I don't remember really.
It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is as smart as Scotland Yard is how he put it. Oh.
Oh, did I write that?
And do you know what that one line did for me? Eh? The very next month, my day pay doubled! Doubled, I tell you! Oh, okay. I guess that's a good reason. Oh, that's amazing. Because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It's around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it takes is one bad word from you and Sholmes can change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing is with the Willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Ronst magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nose.
Ah, lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Teetotal. Oh yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message? I wonder what it could be. Nothing good, I wouldn't think. We'll find out now. Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant. Oh crap, what happened to her?
Dear Susan. Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe? Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Stormheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey, and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice office to fetch her straight away. The police are scouring every inch of this place, by the look of it. Sections on the order to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface. A crime and a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know, a crime and a pawnbroker's. Okay. You call that.
Alright then, let's see what we can uncover.
Oi, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were hoping to investigate. There's a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
What's the problem, Grexy? Rena's a lawyer, you know that.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruto was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around. Okay.
Did you hear that, Runo? You need Jenny to sign some representation papers.
It looks like presenting the directive here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Presenting the detective here, sorry. Well, let's see. Just a minute. Yeah, I guess we can't do anything here until we get back with that paperwork. So back to the new location's been at. Oh, the Lord Chief Justice office. Okay. I guess I'll head there first. April 16th. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. That whole exchange reminded me of an episode of Cutthroat Kitchen. Oh, really? Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you. So, everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust?
Yes, thank you very much.
Competitor A, they look like they've never made cornbread in their life. Oh, okay. Competitor B, I've never made cornbread in my life. Oh. Okay, interesting. There they are, Susato-san and Lord Strongheart. And how did that turn out? Or was there more than one competitor? I mean, more than two competitors. There they are, Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There's nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Oh dear. Say what? Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san!
Ah! Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about? I believe comparator B made another round. Oh, okay. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? But what about Jenny's child?
You mean
she's been formally charged now? Oh dear.
Miss Susato, what's this all about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as...
That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
Professor Mikatoba? If I may... yes. Sorry? You must be the defendant. Rinosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikatoba. I am a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you're aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No! Not even 24 hours later?
Gina? Oh, the Lestrade girl and the murder of the Baker Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstressed as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In defense of your fine solicitor date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now.
Ah! Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Greg mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart, which is, it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her. A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair! Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still is a fair child.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do?
I really liked that show, but it was kind of crazy, too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never watched it myself. In fact, I'm not even sure I heard of it until just now. What channel did it air on?
As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go!
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can, as a lawyer. Okay, guess back to the prison now. April 16th, local prison, cell 13. Is she still in there? Okay, she is. Good.
Ah!
Hello again, Gina. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is getting ridiculous now.
What are you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. Each competitor for each episode was given $5,000 at the beginning of the game, but each round they would auction off sabotage chances, and the winner of the game would leave with only with whatever money they had left. Oh, I see. Interesting.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look! You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie.
Well, that is my business. Okay, let me read. So for example, sabotage might be replacing an opponent's flour with unprocessed wheat, or their sugar with Jolly Ranchers, or make them cook with a coffee maker, etc. Wow, that sounds harsh.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
Yikes. Oh, it was brutal. Yeah, and so was Susato's speech just now.
What? It's my fault? Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before I pass never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that...
Okay, hang on. In the interest of fairness, the showrunners make sure each sabotage can be overcome within the time limit and still cook an edible dish. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds fair.
You've told us that everyone lies.
So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths.
What about what you said before, Jenny? You said something about unforgivable lies.
However, they make no such promises if you get hit with multiple sabotage. Yikes. Yeah, that makes sense too. How are the voices I'm doing for this game? Because I'm really having to kind of experiment around here. Since we're dealing with two different cultures here.
You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but... is this something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted? The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now? I'm trying to lay down in bed to cool off after errands and my kitty demands attention. Oh, okay. Sounds about right. But yeah, I was asking what you think of the voicing I'm doing in this game, because like I said, I've kind of had to experiment since I'm, especially with where this takes place at for most of the game. I like them? Okay, thanks. I think I'm having the most fun with Gina's. But yeah, I'm enjoying this game overall. Anyway, the trial. Let me get another drink before I continue. All right. The trial 2 months ago.
Like you said, that happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it.
What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth.
In any event, the show is on Food Network. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Seems like my mom was watching that channel for a little while. Can't remember what show she watched, but...
It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. I couldn't see a thing. And then I heard a loud thud, like someone falling on the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you?
Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man.
Oh. The state of play is at 5 p.m. Yeah, and I'll already be streaming then, Reen, so I don't know when I'll get around to actually watching it. Yeah, and I've also heard that it's, they've gotten that it's already been leaked out somehow. So, I'm sure you won't, I'm sure I don't even need to say this, but yeah, don't mention any of the leaks. Let's see. During the daytime, they show actual cooking shows, but in the evenings, they usually shift to cooking game shows. Okay. Those sound kind of fun, maybe. Anyway, that is fake. Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Explains why I haven't seen any of them, then. Anyway, how you doing tonight, Reen? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, I should be able to order the laptop on Thursday, and so, I'm hoping it'll only take a day or two to get here, based on what the website said. So, hopefully everything goes smoothly. It's too bad I couldn't get... There have been similar things that have been proven to be fake before. Yeah, that makes sense. It's too bad I don't have the money to get it before both the Pokemon announcement tomorrow and the State of Play, but... so that I could do a live reaction to them, but... what can we do? But as I've said before, after I do get it, I will be doing live reactions to those kinds of things, like the State of Plays, the Nintendo Directs, and any other things I think I might want to react to. Pokemon announcement? Yeah, there's supposed to be some sort of Pokemon announcement tomorrow. It's supposed to be at, I think, 8 a.m. my time, Central Time. Pokemon news, something. I don't know how to word it, but yeah, something like that. Anyway, let's continue.
He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There wasn't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the cold blood all over 'em. I was so scared I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilden started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were, and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did, only that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean he threatened me.
Threaten you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scalp her before the coppers showed up.
Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything.
Okay.
You said Mr. McGilden made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch-black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGilden sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see, couldn't help it. McGilden heard that and dragged me out by my arm. That's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc?
Do you mean...
Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Windybanks.
So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus?
Not for long. Mr. McGilden spotted it straight away. He picked it up, smartish, and stuffed it inside his inside pocket.
So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me. If I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin.
Presumably that was McGilden getting on board.
Nah, not only him.
Oh!
Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of two people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilden and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilden claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilden and the victim knew each other.
So McGilda was lying, as I suspected.
I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to stop, McGilda told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two coals from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right. And after they'd gone, McGilda asked the driver to do him a favor.
A favor?
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it to the nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yup, you got it. It was Wendy Banks. The coachie snapped the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. And then there was no one left in the carriage. We gathered open the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see.
McGilda's conditions. What were McGilda's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul, not for anything, about what I saw and what I heard, about what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said. I'm sitting the coachman on the little errand for me, with some change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye, the fiend's taken me up for court to deposit to the pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you last to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it from you later, sometime within the next 2 months. You have to hang on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windy Bank, so it is, and you're to extend a loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it. Eh? But I ain't got that kind of bass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye, they're firm asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So, let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that she might say, and what is it that she won't? After he'd gone over it all, I piked it, got as far away from there as I could. Yeah, he ate the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So McGill had planned it, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony.
Bet you to sting me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some cloakers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man.
He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In an heartbeat. He could have had a lot of us chased out of there if he'd wanted. And then where we could have gone, eh? And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where.
So, I didn't have no choice.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But, I'm fired now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can wrap it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? Well, he's having a big operation right now, Jenny. Is it bad? Is it gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
That's why I want to investigate, for Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything else.
Right. So, what you're saying is, if I sign a bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it?
Something like that. Miss Susato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers right here. I don't need no one to stick up for me though. No lawyer or nothing. Nothing. Poor Jenny. She seems so lonely.
Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court record. The paperwork signed by Gina to put me in charge of her defense. Showing this to Scotland Yard detectives gains us access to the crime scene. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene in Windybanks now.
Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Jenny when we're done there.
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windybanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Okay, to be continued. And yeah, I am going to stop here now. So, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's stream. As always, you can follow my YouTube channel link below to see my past streams, as well as my Twitter account to be notified when I go live or for other announcements. And I'll be back tomorrow night to continue playing Star Ocean First Departure R. Really need to find a guide for that dungeon before then. Sleep well? Well, I'm not going to bed just yet, but thanks. When I do, I will. Hopefully I will. You as well, Soup, and thanks for tuning in. If you'll stick around, I'll be dropping a host. Let's see. Who are we gonna host tonight? Just wondering why I haven't seen Dyson say streaming lately. Let's see. Let's host Defective Ash, who is playing Resident Evil, the Dark Side Chronicles, which I admit I've never heard of that particular game. So I hope you'll stick around for that, and I hope you all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye. Depending when it arrives, maybe we can start Trails to Sky Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I hope it does go that well. Anyway, again, thanks for thanks for tuning in tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.